James Harden.
Allen Iverson.
James Harden. Allen Iverson.
James Harden. Allen Iverson.
You don't know what Harden's going to do when they pull up and shoot. Iverson did that right before the half.
How about that? Over Toronto.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare two dynamic guards whose impact went beyond the game of basketball.
This franchise player gave Philly everything he had when he played, with or without practice.
Their games undeniably breathtaking.
His vision, instincts, and skill made him virtually unguardable in his prime.
With signature moves that kids imitate on playgrounds across the globe.
Setting trends with their unique style and personalities make them cultural icons.
We are thrilled to present to you James Harden and Allen Iverson. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. We are excited for this episode for obvious reasons. If you are an NBA fan, you're in for a treat. If you're a Sixers or Rockets fan, you're about to be in heaven. Well, let's start with a fundamental question for this episode. We're answering the question, which player of today is most like Allen Iverson? And now, this episode is not just about play style or stats. For this comp, we heavily considered cultural impact, as Ben stated in the intro. Speaking of Ben, why are we talking about Allen Iverson and James Harden today?
Well, I'm going to talk about how they changed the game at the guard position. Iverson obviously started in the mid-90s. Before Iverson, you had your traditional point guards. At the time, you had Jason Kidd, you had Michael Jordan. You had Ron, that was the setup. Shooting guard, point guard. And Iverson came in as a point guard, but kind of under Larry Brown became this combo guard that you see a lot now. Steph Curry. And James Harden, I think, is the same thing. He's just as good of a passer as he is a scorer. And people forget about how good Iverson's playmaking was. And I think he was the first guard to start that. And now you see it with Luka, SGA. You see it everywhere. So I think AI was the one who started it, and Harden, I would say, did it probably even better with the playmaking. But I'm going to say the combo guard.
Yeah, that reminds me when Iverson got to Philly, he actually was playing alongside Jerry Stackhouse, I believe. So that's a good point. Maurice, why are we comparing these players today?
Well, Ben brought it up for a second. Scoring. When we see both of these players, we'll automatically think of the highlights. And James Harden still is a transcendent scorer. There was a couple years there in Houston where he was putting up 50-point triple doubles. It's crazy. 60-point games. He was an elite, one of the best scorers of all time. And for Allen Iverson, being 5'11", 6 foot tall, and not only scoring and leading the league and scoring for years, but also being a bulldog.
Yeah.
Being the tough, pound for pound, the toughest dude on the court.
Right.
And I mentioned highlights. Both of them are signature plays. Both of them have the signature crossovers, whether it be Iverson crossing over Jordan. Right. Or Sixers fans remember Antonio Daniels. Or James Harden crossing over Wesley Johnson. We remember those. Those were great crossovers. But yeah, the scoring, both of them are just on another level. This is going to be a good comparison.
Yeah, ironically, I think one of Iverson's first tattoos was a bulldog.
Right.
For an obvious reason.
Yeah.
And Lucas, man, what do you think?
Got to go more with the cultural impact here. You could, and just their style. You got to talk about the style here because they both had their unique style. Let's start with the style first. When you come down to James Harden, you think of the beard. He is called the beard. And for a long time, he had the little mohawk fade.
Yeah.
And then he transitioned to the braids.
Yeah.
Is that what is it called? I don't know. Yeah, mohawk. and then he transitioned to the braids, cornrows. And guess who made cornrows the instant? The instant style of the NBA and of the early 2000s. It was Allen Iverson with his cornrows and with the shooting sleeves.
Yeah.
Be honest. Did you guys buy a shooting sleeve because of Allen Iverson?
I did.
I did too. I did.
I
tried to wear when I was playing high school basketball. The refs wouldn't let me do it half the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
But when I did, if I could, I would.
Yeah.
You were a defensive player. You had the elbow pad.
Yeah.
Or the knee pads. Or the knee pads.
Because it did not help your shot.
No.
It
if
was
anything,
psychological.
Yeah. So I don't know why it was called a shooting sleeve.
Well, I don't know. Well, I'll save it for later, but the reason why he had it actually was not to help him with shooting. But the unfortunate thing about this comparison is that neither of them were able to bring home a trophy when they probably had the opportunity to. Perhaps if maybe they had made different decisions based on where they were toward the end of their careers, based on their decision to leave or try to stay at certain franchises. So they are prolific scorers. They are transcendent players. Unfortunately, I think when we look at the totality of their careers, they didn't quite get the job done. Although Harden, he still has an opportunity. So that being said, let's move on and let's get started.
First quarter, background.
All right, it's time to talk about the Beard, a.k.a. El Chapo, a.k.a. Jimbo Slice, a.k.a. Honey Bun.
He must have done that when he was trying to leave Houston.
Yeah, I guess. a.k.a. Uno. But before he got those nicknames, he was born James Edward Harden Jr. on August 26, 1989 in Los Angeles, California, to Monia Willis and James Harden Sr. So Monia Willis worked as an AT&T dispatcher to take care of her 3 children. Harden was mainly raised by his mom, and early in life, sports was used as a way to keep Harden off the streets and out of trouble. Unfortunately, his father was not around much. One of the reasons is he spent time in prison. When Harden was 10, he played basketball for a Watts District League in L.A. Before he played basketball, though, who knows what sport Harden initially played? I'll go with Lucas first.
I feel like it was football.
Football? You sure not volleyball?
I'm not going to fall for that trick this time. And he's not European or African, so no.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, Maurice, what sport?
Boxing.
And Ben.
I'm going to go with, you guys took mine. Baseball.
Yeah, I was going to say you should try baseball, see if that works.
All right. Ben, this is for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, but good grab, Ben.
He's kind of got a pitcher's build. I could see him as a pitcher now that we think lefty.
I can see him winding up at bat with that.
He's bigger.
Could you imagine him playing for the Astros with that beard going up the bat?
He kind of looks like a pitcher. It's like all I can see now.
He has a baseball player build in general, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, pitchers are 6'5". Yep.
Yeah. So Harden played first base and he was a pitcher, and he described himself as a, quote, little Randy Johnson. So there you go. Like Harden probably could have been a pro baseball player. So back to hoops. Harden attended Artesia High School, which is near Lakewood, California. One time, his mom took a young Harden into his basketball coach's office and said, and I quote, "This is your coach. Whatever he says goes." Now, according to a Grantland article written by Jordan Ritter Kahn, when Harden was 16, his coach, Scott Petra, sat next to him on a trip home from a tournament. He said to a timid Harden, "We can't win unless you start shooting more." Who can guess what Harden's response was when his coach stated that they needed him to shoot more? What do you think he said? Ben?
He said, "No problem. I got this."
Maurice, what do you think he said?
What else can he say but, okay, coach? I mean,
Okay. I'll go and say that he went the other direction and say that, what about my teammates or something like that?
All right. The closest person to the correct answer was Lucas. And Harden said, and I quote, "I don't want everybody to think that I'm a gunner." Yeah, Harden had that unselfish gene. So after that conversation with Coach, Harden's team never lost again that season. His junior and senior years, Harden averaged close to 19 points a game while leading his team to back-to-back state championships. A former teammate of Harden in high school admitted that before Harden became a lethal offensive threat, he was just used to shooting corner threes. One other thing about Harden's high school, Artesia has a Hall of Fame wall with jerseys, pictures, and trophies. Another NBA player who attended Harden's high school, former NBA player, was Jason Capono. Did you guys know that?
Hey, Jason Capono.
Yeah.
And in the NBA for like 5 seasons, and that was it.
Didn't he win a 3-point shooting contest?
Yes, he did in Miami. Yeah.
UCLA.
So there's also pictures of 2 famous collegiate players who were also brothers. Can anybody guess the 2 brothers that went to James Harden's high school? Here's the hint. They went to school in California.
The Ball brothers?
No, not the Ball brothers.
They went to Chico Hills.
Were they in the NBA?
I don't think they made the NBA, but they went to UCLA.
That does not help me.
That's tough, yeah. I can only think of like Lopez, and then there's...
They went to Stanford.
They're the reason why that NBA college players can have their name and likeness.
Oh, O'Bannon.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ed and
Kyle
Charles O'Bannon.
And what's the other brother's name?
No, it's Ed and Charles O'Bannon.
Oh, see, now.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. They played for UCLA in the 90s. So according to Sports Reference, Harden made the Pac-10 All-Freshman team. He was 2 times All-Pac-10, and he was the 2008-2009 Pac-10 Player of the Year. He entered the NBA draft in 2009, where he was selected in the first round by the Oklahoma City Thunder.
With the 3rd pick in the 2009 NBA draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select James Harden of Arizona State University.
Maybe a bit of a surprise, at least to the crowd here at WAMU Theater at Madison Square Garden. But the Thunder, they liked James Harden all along. They considered him the most polished player in the draft, the sophomore guard from Arizona.
All right. Based on what we just learned about Harden growing up in California, let's go to Maurice first. Anything stand out to you?
Well, we've talked about this many times. You know, the life that you live, and especially in more dangerous areas, can really push you and motivate you to be something even greater than what you expect yourself to be. And for James Harden, for him to be in that position where his father is not around and incarcerated, to become, motivate himself to become a great basketball player, then go to college and go to the NBA and be who he is. It all starts with that motivation from childhood.
Yeah. Lucas, what about you?
It's interesting to see yet again another player start in one sport and then go to another sport. So that's that. I mean, it's just the baseball. You don't think of baseball players converting to basketball players. That doesn't normally happen.
Yeah. Good point. Ben, what about you?
It's always interesting when people kind of like their parents are like, hey, let's get him into sports, get him off the streets, or just like keep him out of trouble. And that ends up being just their main focus. And so, yeah, it's a common thing, but it's like cool to see, I would say. And both these players have that, like, obviously, when we get into the next player. Yeah, nothing really stands out. I mean, the baseball thing is interesting. I'm with Lucas. It is interesting that you do rarely see that transition. For some reason, that sport, maybe it's because they have to train year round for baseball. But anyway.
So, yeah, Harden was in a stacked draft. And I think, Ben, you wanted to say something about that, like where he stood in that draft.
Yeah, I mean, both guys were in one of the best drafts of all time. Harden in 2009, AI 96, but Harden went over some pretty future Hall of Famers. He went over Steph Curry at 7. He went over to DeMar DeRozan, Drew Holiday, Jeff Teague, Tyreek Evans, but specifically Steph Curry going 7 and Harden at 3 because their careers have elevated at the same time, and the Harden and Curry fan bases go at it. They're both really good at things that the others aren't, and it's just been a battle. So it's interesting that he went over them. But yeah, looking at that draft, man, it was just loaded with Hall of Fame guards.
The players from the draft have been in the NBA for 15 years now.
Time flies.
Yeah.
You look at the top of the draft, the players that went before him. Blake Griffin, Blake Griffin, probably similar level player, but still probably not better than Harden. And then
Blake Griffin
was first overall.
And then Blake Griffin was in the same draft as Harden and Steph Curry.
Yeah, he sat out a year. Remember his rookie?
Wow.
He was hurt his rookie year. The Ben Simmons.
So who can tell me who, without looking?
I already know.
I was going to say who.
How do you know what his question was?
It's one of the worst two picks of all time. It's like
speaking of UConn.
It's Hasheem Thabeet.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I did enjoy watching him at UConn, but that was a stretch to take him second. That was the same draft that they drafted Marc Gasol in the second round, though, so it kind of all...
I guess they drafted for need. They needed someone in the middle.
They needed a center, but anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maurice.
And I've mentioned it many times on this podcast before, roster construction. You can get lucky and just find yourself in the right organization. For James Harden, drafted by OKC, it was looking good for the first couple of years,
right?
And then he had to move on. But for Steph Curry to bring in Draymond and Clay and him to go on to win 4 championships, I mean, it's luck.
Yeah,
that's the lottery of the draft. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would say that this episode, or at least Harden's biography, reminds me of Paul Pierce. Remember, Paul Pierce grew up in L.A., and there was gang violence all around, but yet basketball was an escape for him, and it allowed him to focus his energy. And both Pierce and Harden obviously made the NBA, and good things happened as a result. And one other thing, shout out to coaches out there. Any basketball coaches listening to us, like, you are proof. Like, these players are proof that when you challenge players at a young age and you guide them and give them the tools they need to be successful.
Yeah.
Coaches, I think, especially volunteer. Like, I volunteer coach for like 4 or 5 years, and it's a thankless job, and we don't usually see the fruits of our labor. But yeah, just big up to all the coaches out there. Coach Jay is right here right now.
Yeah,
coach only by name.
Yeah.
Nickname. You're right. Let me ask you. Can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Any of the kids that you coached ever get to college? Play college ball?
Yes. Dante Jones.
Dante Jones?
No, not that Dante Jones.
Okay. You got to clarify.
No. And there was a kid.
You ain't that old.
There was a kid in my class a couple years ago who plays for Ryder or Rutgers. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
But I didn't coach him. He was just in my class. What were you going to say, Ben?
No, I was going to say I agree. I tutor like kids for screenwriting. I know that's like random, but it's the same thing. You see like, oh, I can do this. And like it kind of the light bulb goes off, and you helped encourage that in a way. And coaching's the same way. I've only ever coached camps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Salute to all the coaches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, now it's time to talk about the third degree. I had no idea that was a nickname. AKA,
where'd that come from?
Yeah, basketball reference. AKA Jules. Wait, is it Jewels or Jules? I don't know. AKA Jules, AKA Bubba Chuck, AKA The Answer. But before he got those nicknames, he was born Allen Ezell Iverson on June 7th, 1975 in Hampton, Virginia. Trivia question right off the bat. Who knows how Iverson got his nickname, Bubba Chuck?
That was a nickname that his best friend's mom called him.
All right, Ben.
I'm going to go with Lucas because that was specific.
he was so confident in that. I'm just going to go with Lucas too.
I may or may not have seen the Allen Iverson documentary before.
Be careful. You know when Lucas gets overconfident.
I might be wrong. That's what I think it is.
I was going to say someone at his like youth camp, like one of his coaches just gave him the name. But I think Lucas
Maurice?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lucas on that one.
All right, guys. You guys are starting off strong. So
I thought that was it. Hold up, somebody, was it his mom or his best friend's mom?
Let me get to it, man.
Okay.
So Bubba Chuck is a combination of two uncles that Iverson had growing up. So I guess one is Bubba, one is Chuck. They put it together, and you got Bubba Chuck.
Oh,
okay. Last time I co-signed Lucas.
Yeah,
I got a little. I really thought, because like, have you guys seen the AI documentary?
I've seen it.
I have. I've seen a couple of them, and I don't remember.
Yeah. And they always talked about how he would stay at his best friend's mom's house, and that's where I thought he got it from.
Lucas, man, you could be a lawyer. I was convinced. I was convinced
too.
Yeah,
I got that from, I think, is it a Washington Post article? I don't know, but anyway, so it is well documented that Allen Iverson grew up in poverty, where sometimes his house had the electricity and the running water shut off. According to a Washington Post article, growing up, Iverson's mom worked at a clothing factory. She worked long hours. One shift was 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. His biological father was not in his life much, but a man named Michael Freeman helped raise Iverson. Unfortunately, Iverson was only 15 when Freeman went to prison. Like James Harden, sports were an outlet for Iverson when he was a little kid. Iverson started playing football at an early age, which most people know. But does anyone know what his other hobby was, unrelated to sports? What else did AI like? All right, what is it?
He liked to draw. He liked to sketch and draw and paint.
Maurice?
I was going to say rap.
Okay, and Lucas?
Okay, I'm going to go with Ben and drawing, because that sounds a little bit too right.
All right, so Ben and Lucas, you are correct. So AI apparently was good at drawing. And Maurice, he might have been into rapping. I know when he got to the NBA, he actually had an album, but I don't know if that was necessarily his hobby. But when he actually went to Georgetown, that was his major. He majored in fine arts. Mm-hmm. According to a GQ.com article, Iverson said that football was actually his first love, and he didn't play basketball until he was 8. According to Bethel High's football coach, Iverson was only 5 feet 7 inches, and he played safety, where he holds the state record for interceptions in one game. Over under his interception record, let's go with 4. Maurice, over under 4 interceptions.
Over.
Lucas?
Let's say over.
And Ben?
Over.
You're correct. AI had 5 interceptions in one game.
I do remember.
That's pretty wild.
I do remember he was a good quarterback, too.
I mean, he's one of the best pickpockets in NBA history, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Did you guys see his football highlights in high school?
I only saw his football highlights when he was QB at Georgetown.
He didn't play quarterback at Georgetown, but they were probably Bethel
No, I
High
said
School.
quarter, not corner.
They played his entire state championship game. Do you guys remember that? It was during
he was like the jewel of Hampton Roads, because they played when they did the basketball stuff. Then they play in the Coliseum, which is, by the way, a pretty big deal out there. Because
you went to school.
Me and Uriah used to live there at different points in our life. So
right, yeah, absolutely.
Michigan was a school that was where he was going to go, right? I remember. I think I remember that for football.
I don't remember.
I thought it was Michigan.
That was before the whole entire stuff happened.
Right.
Yeah. So Iverson was the best two-sport athlete in Virginia in the early 90s while at Bethel, leading his football and basketball teams to state championships his junior year. Over under, how many points per game did AI average in high school? Lucas? Oh, over under 30. Sorry. Lucas?
That's going to have to be over. That's just, nah.
And Maurice?
I'm actually going to go under.
All right. And Ben?
Under 30, only 32 minutes in a game. It's hard to score that many. Yeah.
All right. Lucas, this is for you.
Yay! Y'all don't believe in the answer.
Listen, I'm shocked that Ben and Maurice, big time Sixers fans, went under AI.
Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you.
I think his team was good. That's why I was gonna be like, he had to share the wealth a little bit.
Yeah, the average was 31 points a game.
Did he have any teammates that went into the NBA?
No, but he had his high school running mate. I think his name was the hell's his name? Tony something. Tony something went to Wake Forest. So
okay, that was a pretty good basketball school in the 90s.
Tony Rutland, that was it. Tony Rutland.
I've heard that name in circles.
Yeah, Tony Rutland. I think he played with Tim Duncan, I believe. So
that sounds about right.
Yeah. So before his
I wonder if he had anyone in the NFL. I wonder if there's anyone. But you would know. Yeah.
Mm. Now, before his senior year, though, Iverson, as some people might know, unfortunately, he was sent to prison for a brawl that happened at a bowling alley. Fortunately, Iverson was granted clemency from then Virginia Governor Douglas Wilder, and he was released from prison. Now, when it comes to his high school basketball legacy, Iverson had the single-season scoring record in the state of Virginia with 982 points set in 1993. Does anyone know who eventually broke that record in 2018? Here's a hint. He signed with the Sixers about 2 years ago.
Is he on the Sixers currently?
He's not on there now. Ben, who do you think it is?
I know who it is. I'm going to go last. It's Mac McClung.
Maurice. How are you going to say I'm going to go last?
You said that you were going to. Yes,
I'm going to go last.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Mac McClung.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I remember hearing that now. Thanks for this.
Yeah.
You should make sure that you have spoiler alert there first.
Yeah. Slam dunk champion.
2-time slam dunk champion.
Yeah.
So Mac McClung broke that single season record. Does anybody know who had it before Iverson? Also a former Sixer from the 80s.
From the 80s?
Center.
Moses Malone?
That is correct.
Oh,
that was a guess. That was a
good
good
one,
guess.
Lucas.
Because didn't Moses play for UVA or Virginia Tech?
No, he's drafted out of high school.
He's drafted out of high school.
Yeah.
Was he really? Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. If he had a state scoring record.
Because Lucas, for a long time, Moses, I think it was Daryl Dawkins and Moses were like the only guys, right? That were dropped out of high school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Before we get to his Georgetown experience, let's talk about AI's growing up in Hampton, Virginia. Let's go with Maurice first. Anything stand out to you about how AI was raised?
Ooh, very similar to James Harden, but in this case, he had to overcome a little bit of tribulation to get at least to Georgetown. Overall, though, Allen Iverson was an amazing talent.
Yeah.
People say he could have been a really good football player, at least in college, maybe even in pros too. So that could have changed the course of his career, his future. But he was a standout quarterback and a quarterback, and he was a standout point guard. So
yeah.
He could have went either way, but I think he chose the right way.
Yeah, you're right about that football take, just because his former football coach and longtime manager, Gary Moore, compared Iverson to Deion Sanders. So if you can imagine AI picking off passes
he could have been Michael Vick before Michael Vick. And Michael Vick is from Virginia as well.
That's true. And Lucas, what about you? What stands out to you?
I mean, look, the guy's life was, people were trying to ruin the guy's life. Luckily, he had somebody that listened to his family's plead, and it allowed for one of the most iconic players in NBA history to have a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure you're referring to John Thompson, right, Lucas?
Yes.
Yeah. Ben, what about you?
Yeah, I think his mom had a lot to do with like reaching out to people. And then the community in general, like when he was in jail, people don't realize there was a Dan Rather, right? Did a 60 Minutes, or was it Peter Jennings? Someone did a special on him, and that kind of got attention. Right. And someone did that, and I imagine his mom. I know she wrote a letter to John Thompson, and it sounds like the community really helped build him up. And so that's kind of what stands out, is that they got him out of the situation. All that turmoil led to his kind of drive at Georgetown and in the NBA. So he really turned it around and used it for fuel. But
absolutely. I have strong ties to Hampton. I actually attended college for 5 years during that time period. And I got there right the year after all the turmoil and the tension, the racial tension and Hampton Roads. It was a huge deal. And like you said, Ben, it made national news. And fortunately, the governor at the time was able to give us a conditional release for Iverson to get out of prison. And that leads us to his next part of his journey, which is Georgetown. All right. It is well known that Iverson attended Georgetown, which was known for recruiting top-tier centers. However, Iverson ended up there mainly because coaching legend John Thompson agreed to take on Iverson despite the controversy surrounding his name after serving jail time over the bowling incident. Thompson even, I don't know if you guys know this, visited Iverson in prison, where Iverson floated the idea of him playing football and basketball at Georgetown. In the GQ article that was cited, Iverson was quoted, this is AI talking, "Coach Thompson had visited me in prison, and I asked him if he would consider taking me in if he was able to get me out. Fortunately, he did. They had a football program, and I think I remember one day asking him how he felt about me playing football. AI said, I don't think you can write it in a magazine, what he said. I didn't think about playing football no more after that." So John Thompson's like, you need to stick to hoops.
Yeah.
So Iverson took the Big East by storm when he finally suited up for the Hoyas. In 2 years, he played under John Thompson. He averaged 23 points, almost 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. Over under Iverson's shooting percentage at Georgetown. Over under 30%. Lucas.
Shooting percentage from 3 or just in general?
No, from 3.
From 3? I'm going to go under.
All right. Maurice?
I'm going to go over.
And Ben?
Over.
Okay. All right. Maurice and Ben, this is for you. So you just missed it, Lucas. He was 31% in college. So.
Okay.
All right. You guys want to hear some of Iverson's college awards?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So 1994-95, all Big East, second team. He was Big East all freshman, 94-95. 95-96, he was all first team, all Big East. He was also, this is surprising, Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
He was surprised.
I remember
surprised?
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the same year Ray Allen was there, right?
Yes, he was at UConn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
1996, all Big East tournament first team. AI led the nation in scoring. He had 926 points. Steals per game, he was first in the entire Big East. But he was not the NCAA Player of the Year that year. Does anybody know who won that award, Ben?
I'm going to go last because I know it.
All right, Maurice?
Well, it's not Ray Allen. I don't know. That's a good one. I don't know.
What year was it again?
1995-96.
The year before he got drafted.
Okay.
Can I give a clue?
This is a guess
to everyone.
Sure.
So he was a top 5 draft pick in that draft. That's my clue.
I'm trying to remember who else was in that draft.
He's a big man.
Oh, Camby?
Camby?
Lucas, you go with that?
Yeah.
You go with Camby?
Yeah,
okay.
It's Camby, yeah.
All right, you guys are correct. It was Marcus Camby. Very good. All right, in June of 1996, Allen Iverson entered the NBA draft, where he was selected by the Philadelphia 76ers.
With the first pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Allen Iverson from Georgetown University.
And there you see backstage Allen Iverson, the Georgetown sophomore. Ann and Steve, mom and dad. Family and friends back there. And what a tremendous moment that is for a kid. You think about all the nights, all the mornings that you had to get up early, take the kid to his youth league game, and dreaming of this night, of being the first pick in the NBA draft. And it has happened for Allen Iverson. His mom, and there is David Falk, who should figure prominently into the...
He seems very happy.
Yes, as a matter of fact. Can't hide that smile. Wearing the hat of the Philadelphia 76ers, Allen Iverson.
What do we think about his time at Georgetown? Let's go with Ben first.
The Big East had so much talent back then. And I remember watching Ray Allen versus Iverson. And Kerry Kittles was also in the Big East. The guard play was unbelievable. And yeah, that's what I remember. This guy was so much more athletic and quicker than anyone else. And the fact that he was so small and so skilled and athletic, it just made him like it was very relatable as someone who I ended up being 6 feet, but yeah, like he wasn't that big. And he was dominating. He was blocking dudes. He was dunking on dudes. And he just was so much better than everyone else. So I can't believe he ended up going to the Sixers. It just was like, is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I won. Yeah. He just hearing that draft thing, like he really changed. He like saved the Sixers. I mean, like he made the Sixers so relevant, in my opinion.
Right. Post Barkley. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And how about you, Lucas? What stood out to you about his Georgetown career?
I mean, look, it was the golden age of the Big East. The Big East is, by the way, it's starting to make a comeback. Shout out to UConn winning back-to-back titles. But, yeah, no, I mean, look, Allen Iverson probably is the one outlier when it comes to Georgetown basketball because they're historically known for big men.
Yes.
But Allen Iverson is the one that stands arguably above any of them.
Okay.
Good point.
That might be a hot take.
Well, I mean, can we talk about it?
Ewing, Morning, Mutombo.
I mean, like, I think we can say that Allen Iverson had a better career.
He's the only MVP. Actually, that's a good take, Lucas.
Oh yeah.
He's the only MVP.
Okay, Lucas.
And if you look at the that's a good one. And then the scoring titles, it's kind of not close.
I mean, like Patrick Ewing has the best argument, but like,
right? Okay.
Yeah. All
right.
Okay.
And Maurice, what about you? Georgetown AI. What do you think?
Listen, when I started watching basketball, it was around the mid 90s to late 90s. And of course, Michael Jordan was my favorite player. Mm-hmm. But once Allen Iverson got to the Sixers, I had to actually go back and look at some of his Georgetown games. And one of Allen Iverson's best qualities is he's so relatable. Mm-hmm. And him being 5'11", 6 foot tall, and doing the things he did, he related to a lot of the kids because most of the kids aren't 6'6", 6'7".
Right.
So they related to Allen Iverson on a different level. And when he played at Georgetown, even at his size, he was doing everything.
Yes, he was.
He was doing everything on the court, like Ben and Lucas mentioned. He was blocking shots. He was dunking. I'm like, whoa, what is this little guard doing?
Yeah.
And it did kind of usher in an era where, you can be 5'11", 6 foot tall, but you can still be a game changer on the court.
Yeah, I distinctly remember watching him in college. I was at a sandwich shop, and they had a TV inside the dining area. And I think they were playing UConn. I think it was AI versus Ray Allen. And I remember one play, he was coming down on a fast break, and he kind of threw it off the backboard, and he caught it for a dunk, or someone missed, and he hit the backboard, he dunked it. I was like, wow, AI is hops. This kid is so athletic, so freakishly just fast and agile. No wonder he was the first pick by the Sixers. One little nugget here. Actually, I have a few. So David Falk, who you heard mentioned by Ernie Johnson in the clip, he actually arranged for a phone call between Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson. And here's what the Washington Post published. Michael told me he had heard a lot of good things about me, Iverson said, and he said he was going to have to tighten up his game for me, which was definitely a joke. I just laughed, but everything he said to me made me feel good. So it just made sense. If Falk wants to represent Iverson, His client at the time was Michael Jordan. So that was kind of a lock if you get him on the phone with AI. And then just the whole, for his mom and for Iverson to plead with John Thompson, and John Thompson was like, look, you got to walk the straight line at Georgetown. We'll give you a spot. That essentially, I'm sure someone might have taken Iverson, but there was no guarantee. But Georgetown, I think, was the perfect place for him, despite like Lucas's point about being a big man school, which is completely true. But Iverson, he changed that whole pattern for Georgetown, or at least he kind of broke up the pattern.
Second quarter. Statistics.
Rockets on the left side. Harden just crossed over Wes Johnson, and that might be the single greatest crossover in the history of the NBA.
Allow me to have this dance. Down goes Johnson. Too much sauce.
Murray and Harden. Hides licking his chops. He fell down. Harden with a cold-blooded three.
Harden with the drive. A facial by James.
So those were the highlights. Here are the numbers. So James Harden is listed at 6'5", 220 pounds. He has worn the numbers 13 and 1. Which teams has he worn 13 for?
Well, it's not the Sixers. So, Houston, Brooklyn, and OKC.
Ben?
I'm going to say Brooklyn.
I'm going to say Brooklyn and Houston.
Give that little charm sound to Maurice because he got it right.
Good job.
First three stops, OKC, Houston, Brooklyn. He wore 13. Last two stops with Philly and LA, number 1.
Number 1.
Now, I think 13 was retired with Philly, right? With Wilt, so that's why he didn't
probably
wear it.
Chamberlain.
And then I guess he just liked it and kept it when he went to LA. So
I think Paul George has 13.
Oh,
He
does. Yeah, there we go. That's why.
Yep.
Okay. So, in a controversial pick here, I went with his best season not being the 17-18 season, but being the 18-19 season here. He averaged 36 points, 7.5 assists, 6.5 rebounds, 2 steals, 5 turnovers a game. High usage player, though. 44% from the field, 36 was essentially 37% from the three-point line, essentially 88% from the foul line. Now, that is crazy, but the numbers don't stop there. He's led the league in minutes per game once back in 2015-16. He's led the league in assists twice in 2022-2023, as well as 2016-17. He's led the league in points 3 straight seasons from 2017 through 2020. Pretty impressive. But if you go to the career highs, now I think some of you guys will be able to get some of these, but let's see if I can stump you on 1 or 2 of these. Okay. So career high points. 61 points as a career high. I honestly thought he was a 70-point guy at some point, but I guess he never got there.
Yeah.
No.
Not many have. That's a small list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over under 15 rebounds as a career high. Maurice.
Well, I did mention earlier he had a 50-15-15 triple-double, so I'm going to say over.
Ben?
Over.
Uriah.
I'll say over.
Yeah, it's 17. Thanks for giving them the biggest hint ever.
Okay.
Okay, over under 20 assists as a career high.
Ooh.
I'll go with Uriah this time.
I go first? All right.
Yeah.
20 assists. He is such a good passer. I'm going to say over.
Ben?
Over.
I'm going to go over as well. More people need to acknowledge James Harden as a passer. He's a great passer.
That last season in Philly, he had 21. That's the only time he's eclipsed 20. Otherwise, it's usually around 17 as a season high. 8 steals as a career high, 5 blocked shots as a career high.
Not bad.
That's actually kind of surprising. He got that in the season that he got traded from Houston to Brooklyn.
Okay.
And then, this is a fun one. Over under 11 turnovers as a career high.
That's got to be over.
Ben?
Over.
I'm going to say over as well.
The answer is over. It's 12. But that being said, this is one of the things like where him and AI kind of differ. Combo guard. Is he a point guard? Is he a shooting guard? It depends on what part of his career, right? I think we can say definitely the latter stages of his career that he's in right now is definitely shooting point guard. But early on, it was definitely more of a 2 guard. So he's averaged over at least 10 assists, 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons in his career. So that being said, I'll start with Ben first. Ben, what are your takes from these stats?
It's the assist. It's kind of like his point guard ability, which we see now. Makes passes you don't even think about. So I would say that his playmaking is, because we all know his scoring. He just is really intelligent, and he's a very intelligent player. I think both these guys are, but James Harden's IQ is just off the charts, the way he sees the floor. And people like to know Harden's got some stuff where he like wants out of teams and there's controversy there, but his game has aged well. So you kind of gotta give it to him. He's been like, hey, I lost some athleticism, less scoring. Let's dip into the playmaking. His 3 ball is still there. So I would say the playmaking is what people forget about with James.
Okay. What about you, Uriah? What do you take away?
Yeah, I have to be honest. I think the playmaking, like Ben said, really stands out to me because at one point of his career, he was such a prolific scorer. He could have stayed in that lane, but he realized that when he got other players involved, it helped Houston chances of advancing further in the playoffs, which obviously happened. And I think they were a Chris Paul injury away from actually winning their first championship. But anyway, yeah, I think, Lucas, the stats you're talking about, his assists are really remarkable. And he really evolved as he got older. Like Ben was saying, his game, he was able to stay effective as he's in the playoffs now with the Clippers. When he was with the Sixers, I remember they were playing against the Rockets. And there was we know that Harden is a lefty, but he was like past the 3-point line or the elbow. And he did a pass to Shake Milton. Shake Milton cut to the rim. And it was like a right-handed pass, his opposite hand. And he passed it and spun around at the same time. And it landed right where Shake Milton was headed, and he scored a layup. So that pass is probably one of the best passes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, no, the passing. And what about you, Maurice?
I kind of got to piggyback off of everyone else here. Like I mentioned, like I just said, he's such an underrated passer and facilitator. I would have loved to have seen him his whole career as just a point guard. Remember, he came in with Russell Westbrook. He played with Chris Paul. He played with Chris Paul for a couple years. I would have loved to have seen him as just a PG for his entire career and seen the assist numbers put up. That would have been fun.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, he's still. I think he'll be remembered as a point guard by the when all is said and done. But that's definitely something to keep an eye on here. Now, before we move on, I do want to go through a few franchise stats just with you guys because this is a big episode here. So he leads the Rockets in 3-point field goals with 2,029.
Wow.
He leads the franchise in free throws with 5,554.
Wait, 5,000 free throws?
Yeah.
Holy
That's a lot.
He was in
Houston
line a
for a
lot.
while. At 88%.
Remember that Daryl Morey ball. Points Elijah Wan still had, but he is second all time, 18,365.
Wow.
Only behind Elijah Wan, who has him by about 8,000. And then triple doubles, he leads the franchise with 46. And then like assists, he leads the franchise in assists with 4,796. So anything that you guys want to take away from those franchise stats for the Houston Rockets, because that's who he's going to be remembered by when he's retired from the NBA.
The franchise numbers are incredible. I think we need to also remember that when it's all said and done for James Harden, he's probably going to be the second greatest three-point shooter of all time. Do we all agree on that?
I mean, he's third right now on the all-time list.
Yeah, he's going to be number 2.
Yeah.
I think Ben mentioned it. His game has evolved so much over the years. He went from a scorer to a passer scorer to an elite all-time three-point shooter to just being a floor general now with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure there's more stats that I could get into. Points per game, he leads the franchise with 29.6. Like, you know, but like those are the main things. Clearly, he has the usage rate, but like, still, you're pushing Hakeem for franchise records. That's pretty impressive, who we've talked about in the past. So, anyway, what about you, Ben? Anything that you can take away from this?
It's just interesting, like, fit into this. He made the finals early in his career. He's got a very interesting, like, trajectory. Similar to Hakeem Olajuwon when we did him, where right away into kind of an all-star. Charles Barkley had this too a little bit with Moses Malone, where like, oh, you're right away drafted high and you go into a contender. And then he was like, Oklahoma City didn't prioritize him. He wanted out. He wanted his own team. And it's very interesting that his finals appearance is early in his career. It just, and then he had this like 10-year run with Houston, which is very similar to Iverson. But Iverson's was more out of like, we'll get into it, was more out of like, it just was what it was. Like he was drafted into kind of a, you know, a hopeless situation and they built it up. So yeah, I think there's some bad luck with James and the stats are just completely out of this.
I would say he had pretty good luck considering the teams that they got built around him.
Yeah.
Think about it. The Rockets were on the come up before they traded for him. Then he got to go to Brooklyn that had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Then he came to Philly with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. And now he's in LA with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. I mean more like the stats, the Houston era though, was like they had to build that was very specific. And that's where him and AI are very similar. And the stats, it's like, hey, you're just going to score 30.
Oh, yeah, no,
points.
he was definitely the bell cow in Houston. Yeah.
Then I would just say that's what stood out to me most. I had to say it just because you're going through, like, I'm thinking back. Mm-hmm. But for his volume and for being the only real scoring option, his efficiency actually was pretty good. That 37% that year in threes for his volume was pretty good. So I would say that stood out the most. And then just the rebounds and the assists too. Because there's years where he's like, you know what? I'm going to average a triple-double. And remember that one year he's like, I'm going to pass more. And then he, I think, led the league in assists.
Yeah, that was his first season leading the league in assists. Yeah,
and it's just wild that he just gets to decide that. That's how good he is. So,
What about you, Uriah?
Yeah, I'm going to say something related to what you started with this episode, Lucas, when you were saying he's practically unguardable in his prime. And one of the reasons he was unguardable, Lucas, is you mentioned the all-time free throws for Houston. Mm-hmm. That was an element to his game. Today he's not getting the calls like he used to. But when he was in Houston, he would get to the line. He'll get fouled if you play him too close, or if you back off too much, he'll raise up and shoot a three in your face. So I think the free throws, Lucas, stood out to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now Russell has Iverson in Malone spots, and how about Allen, the front job, to come up with a steal. A brilliant defensive play by Iverson, giving up more than half a foot to Russell. Now he's got Stockton, he breaks his ankles, and he got it!
And the crowd rising to their feet.
And Mutombo going high for the rebound. Iverson streaking by everybody. Reverse layup. Oh, wow. What a spectacular coast to coast.
Earning the Sixers a fresh 24. Iverson behind his back. Yes!
For the 76ers, Iverson, bothered by Lou. Iverson.
How about that?
Steps over Tyronn Lue.
7 straight points by Iverson. Looked like he was dead in the water.
So those were the highlights. Here are the numbers. So, Allen Iverson is listed as 6'1", 165. But if we're being honest, he's probably below 6 foot. That being said, official height is 6 foot.
No, I stood right next to Iverson in Walmart. He's 6 foot because I'm only 5'11". Yeah.
Okay. All right. He's worn the number 3 at all of his NBA stops, save for one. I feel like Uriah knows the answer, so you get to answer last. Can you two tell me what his one stop that he did not wear number 3, and what number did he wear?
Yeah, I know this answer too.
Ben?
The Olympics? Or number 4 in the Olympics?
It was number 1 for Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Actually, Ben makes a good point.
I'm technically right.
In the All-Star game.
I'm going with NBA numbers here.
I do remember in the All-Star game, Iverson wore number 6.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
No, but the Olympics, he was 4. He was number 4, I believe, on the Olympic team.
Okay. Going with AI's best season, this one was actually pretty easy here. I went with the 2000-2001 season. Like 2002 was a close second, but he was more efficient in 2001. So let's break it down here. He averaged 31.1 points per game. He averaged almost 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2.5 steals, and 3.3 turnovers. Barely registered a half block. He shot 42% from the field, 32% from 3, and 81% from the foul line. So if we're being honest, he's not the most efficient player when it comes to shooting the ball, but he was also undersized, and NBA was a lot more physical back then.
Yeah, and roster-wise, he never truly had a number 2 scorer.
I mean, if Aaron McKee's your best number 2, then we got a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we get to career highs, he led the league in scoring 4 times, led the league in assists 2 times, and led the league in minutes per game. Now, James Harden did it once. Over, under. I have to make sure I'm reading this. 8 times leading the league in minutes per game.
8 times?
Over, under.
Jeez.
Over.
Ben says over. Uriah?
I'm going to say under. That seems really out of range.
That seems a little too high. I'm going to go under as well.
Ben, you are wrong. But you're close because he did it 7 times.
Yeah.
He averaged 41 minutes per game for his career.
Nuts. That's nuts.
That is crazy.
There was only, let's see here, 3 seasons that he did not average over 40 minutes per game, and no seasons that he averaged a full season under 30 minutes per game.
Wow.
For him to be that small and take the bruises, the bumps that he took, that's an amazing stat.
Like, James Harden is 5 inches taller, and he outweighs him roughly by 70 pounds.
Well, in Iverson's era, this was before players took games off and stuff like that. So
yeah. I think he only played under 70 games, 1, 2, during his prime. Let's put the caveat his prime. 3 times before he exited his prime.
Yeah, we would say his prime would be until he got to Denver.
I would say post Denver, actually.
He was still good in Denver.
Yeah, he was still good. He averaged even the season that he got traded from Denver.
I meant to say, including Denver.
Yeah.
After he left Denver, he was out of his
team. He was, But anyway, he got traded 3 games in that season that he got traded from Denver. He was averaging about 18 and a half, almost 19 points per game that season.
Mm-hmm.
Big drop off from 26 the season before. That being said, let's get to the career highs here. Now, see, I only came in watching basketball towards the end of Iverson's prime. That was about 2005. I remember the season that he got traded, and I love that him and Melo had matching cornrows. That was really cool.
That was
shooting sleeves.
Right.
Like, Melo had a really good... If he just had Allen Iverson in his prime for 2 or 3 more seasons, that would have been fun. That being said, career high. Ooh, this is actually pretty interesting. Is Allen Iverson's career high higher or lower than James Harden's 61-point career high? I'll go with. Is his career high more than 61 points or less than 61 points? I will go with Uriah first because he looks the most puzzled.
That's a good question. I would say 61. Iverson, I know he had a game against Cleveland where he had either 60 or 65. I want to say under.
Okay. Ben?
I know the number, so it's under 61.
And Maurice?
I want to say he had a 60-point game, so yeah, under.
It is under. It's 60. But it's that close to James Harden's 61, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is cool.
He has a career high 11 rebounds for the Mighty Mouse himself. That's pretty impressive. I know that's not an official nickname, but
I'm sure he's heard that before.
He also has a career high 16 assists. Now, this is a fun one. Over under career high 10 steals.
I know this. Pick someone else.
Maurice, you go first.
Over.
Ben.
It is playoff and regular season?
Just regular season.
It's neither. It's 10.
Uriah.
I feel strongly that it's under, and I think he had 9 steals against either the Magic or the Hornets or somebody.
Well, I cannot say who the opponent was, but the correct answer is 9.
Oh, yeah.
That happened in 2002-2003 season. He's also had a career high 3 blocks, which for a guy that's 6 foot, that's solid, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting. Does he have a career high? So, James Harden's career high in turnovers. Give me 1 second here. Let me go back to his career highs.
It was 11, right?
I think we had his career highs of 12 turnovers as a career high.
Okay.
Is Allen Iverson's career high in turnovers the same, over, or under?
12 turnovers. I'll go first. I'm going to say over.
Ben.
Ooh. I'm going to say over.
Over, the same, or under? What'd you say?
Over. I'm going to say over 12.
Maurice.
This had to be early in his career. I want to say over.
It did not happen until the 04-05 season, and it is the same.
Oh, okay.
Oh. You got us. You tricked us there with that one.
You got us with that one.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself for that one. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to start having to do that more because that's actually that's a funner way of doing that question.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the numbers here. What's impressed you guys about it? Let's start with Ben here. Ben.
I think this is what separates the two players, the defense. He does, for his size, he kind of got you so many steals, which does impact the game on defense. And I think James is a capable defender, but he's not very athletic. And I think Iverson really went above and beyond. You couldn't really pick on him. People say that, oh, you could take advantage of him. He was long. You couldn't really pick on him on defense. So I think the steals numbers stand out the most because we all know the scoring and the efficiency. No guard outside of Jordan had good efficiency back then. The league was harder to score. People prioritized defense. So the efficiency police, it just was a different game. And so Iverson would have been way more efficient in today's game. So that stands out to me as always an argument. If you watch, you watch highlights. If these young kids, Gen Z kids, watch highlights of Iverson, they say Iverson's game would translate really, really, really well to today's game. He had a midi. He was a capable 3-point shooter. So I think he would have been a lot better with today's spacing.
Fair enough. Maurice, what do you think?
Yeah, if you were to go back in that time, we also have to remember, too, the league changed some rules for James Harden because James Harden was such a great scorer. The league had to change the rules for Allen Iverson as well. The hand checking, I remember that I changed the rules for palming because when he did his crossover, he would palm, and they changed that rule for him as well. Iverson, I want to say, because of the era that he was in, it was a lot harder to put up 60 in his era.
Yeah.
We agree on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when he put up 60 and he was crossing over dudes who were better defensive players from that era, I look at it in a different scope than what James Harden did. Don't get me wrong, James Harden is one of the greatest scorers of all time. But when Iverson did it, and he was just a little bit more flashy about it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he won people over so much because of his scoring and the crossovers, and he got at you on defense too with the steal. So yeah, those are things I remember about Iverson the most. And I really like this comparison because these two are really good.
The one stat, Lucas, that you mentioned that I kind of knew but I forgot was how many minutes he averaged per game. And to know that he's only 6 feet tall, $165, playing amongst the trees, getting guarded against guys like Kobe, Tracy McGrady, Tim Thomas, guys that are like 6'7", 6'9", 6'10", and he would still get into the lane and score against centers. Completely outrageous that a guy that size could have that much of an impact scoring the basketball, and he just was tough as nails. I agree with Ben. Or I guess it was more, I forget who it was. Someone said he would flourish in today's game because of the rules. I agree. But for him to play all those minutes, all those seasons, Lucas, like you said, wow, that was special.
I remember him going right up against Shaq. He would go right into his chest and bounce off of him and land on the court. But he was tough as nails, man. Tough as nails.
I do remember you mentioned Shaq. Shaq did admit there were a lot of times where he could have just easily swatted Iverson's shot, but he didn't because I think Shaq respected his audacity to even try to score on him. So, yeah.
Yeah, look, I think the minutes thing when I was doing the research really shocked me because, like, what other NBA player besides, like, Wilt Chamberlain or, like, Bill Russell do you hear averaging over 40 minutes per game as a career average? Like who? Like, I don't think MJ, right? Maybe MJ?
Maybe MJ.
No. Like, that's just insane. And, like, the Sixers needed every one of those minutes to have a chance.
Yeah.
That's the thing that really just kind of blows my mind, me personally. But let's get into some franchise numbers here now. Because, when we think of AI, we think of Philly, not Denver, not Detroit, definitely not Memphis. But let's talk about it. So I know that Joel Embiid, if he can stay healthy, might break some of these records. But let's be real. Allen Iverson probably is going to hold most of these. Allen Iverson, like James Harden, leads his franchise in three-point made with 885. Now that seems to like it's going to get broken soon. I do want to say that of active Sixers right now, who knows if Tobias Harris will be there next season. Tobias Harris is 4th with 575. Tyrese Maxey is 6th with 535. Joel Embiid is 7th with 509. And, of course, for those that are recent Sixers fans, J.J. Redick is 9th. And Furkan Korkmaz is 10th. Shout out to Korkmaz. Anyway, sorry, I got a little Sixers fanny myself there. But anyway, we go to the points here now. I'm pulling up the points. Assist. Now, Mo Cheeks has that. Let's be clear. Allen Iverson's 3rd behind Hal Greer with 4,385. Steals. Mo Cheeks has it again, but Allen Iverson is only 298 steals away with 1,644. Anything from these franchise stats that you guys take away from real quick? Uriah?
I would say, I guess, assists. He's up there with Cheeks.
Yep.
People remember him for his scoring, but he played there so long in Philly that he had quite a few games where he was able to get double-digit assists. And I think he's an underrated passer. He could have passed, but he knew that, or the team knew that for them to succeed, they needed him to score more. So I'd say the assists.
Okay.
When you talk about those stats, all I think about is, I wonder if Allen Iverson ever played with Joel Embiid. That's just the fan in me thinking right now.
It'd be fun. We kind of have a miniature version of AI with Tyrese Maxey in some ways.
Yeah.
We do. But we already highlighted Joel Embiid in the past episode, but when it's all said and done, I think Joel will have a lot, if not all, of the scoring records, or at least surpass Iverson. So with that said, Iverson still, for his time and his era, and we'll get into it in my segment, he didn't have a lot of complementary pieces to really accentuate his skill set. So his records will fall eventually, but we all will remember the impact he made.
Mm-hmm. Kind of going back to like what I originally said with the combo guard, Iverson was, I think he averaged 8 assists a few times. Best statistical year was, I think, that 04 or 05 year.
In terms of assists, yeah, I think so.
Just like overall, he averaged like 33 and like 8 or something one year in the NBA. When he decided to, similar to James, he could be a playmaker, probably not as elite as James, but where Iverson, I think, was a little better was his versatility. Like, because he was so athletic, that's where he had the leg up on James, in my opinion. His athleticism lasted a long, long time, to where James was more a high IQ and shot making. But yeah, I would say the playmaking is what stands out. You don't think of him as that. You think of Iverson. People, that don't like him, call him a ball hog, inefficient scorer, but he ran the point a lot.
All right, so real quick, we're going to play a fun game. Who is higher on this all-time list? First one is points per game. Who is higher on this list? Maurice, who's higher?
Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson, okay. Ben. Okay. And Uriah.
It's got to be Iverson.
It is Iverson. He is 9th all-time at 26.66. And right now, and I'm pulling it up, where's James Harden? He is 27th at 24.15. Let's go to the next one real quick. Who's higher on this list? Total all-time points. I'll start with Uriah this time.
Total all-time points right
yes.
now? Oh, man. Wow.
Who has more career points?
I'm just going to guess. Say Harden.
Okay. Ben?
Harden, because he's played a lot. He's had a technically longer career currently.
Okay. And Maurice?
I'm going to go Harden as well.
All right. You guys are correct. Harden is currently 23rd and Allen Iverson is 33rd. Now, we have had several players that we've already talked about on this podcast between those two players. Can you guys name me one?
Hakeem Olajuwon.
No.
Between 32nd and 22nd of scoring all time.
33 and 23.
Durant?
Nope.
Carmelo?
Nope.
Oh, man. Who is
those
it?
Those guys are both top 10 now.
Let me get one more shot at it.
Okay.
Larry Bird.
No. Anybody else want to take another shot? We've already done these players.
What you got, Lucas?
Vince Carter and Reggie Miller. Last one, real quick, and then I'm passing it to Ben. In terms of all-time steals, who's higher, Allen Iverson or James Harden?
I'll go first. I'll say Iverson.
I'll go Iverson as well.
Iverson.
The answer is Iverson. He is 15th, and James Harden is 39th.
Cool.
Third quarter, accolades.
Wow. All glory to God, man. All glory to God. Wow. Huge shout out to the NBA and all the legends that paved the way for me to be able to play this game like I do and like I love. Huge shout out to the Rockets, man. The whole city of H-Town, Tillman, Yoni, Tad, Daryl, Rafael, all the coaching staff, the training staff, Jason Bowles, Keith Jones, Swerve. I know I'm missing somebody. It's off the top, but this is everybody that helped, man, from the equipment guys to the ball boys, everybody that helps to get me to where I want to go. Shout out to my family, my sister, my brother, me, my nephews, and moms. I'm not gonna get emotional. I'm not doing all that. But she's my backbone. Good times, bad times.
All right, that was James Harden accepting the 2018 NBA Most Valuable Player Award. He famously his fan base thinks he should have won it many more times, arguably at least 3. And so on that note, who did he beat out in that 2018 MVP race? So I'm going to start with Maurice. Who did he beat out? Who were finalists?
2018, you talk about Steph Curry, maybe LeBron was in it, and Jokic.
All right, Lucas?
I think it was definitely Russell Westbrook, because that was still around the time of the triple-doubles. I don't think Jokic had made his jump yet. I don't think Giannis had made his jump yet. I think it was LeBron James was probably that third spot.
Okay. And then Uriah, give me your top 3, top 4.
I actually agree with everything Lucas said. I think that was around the time where Westbrook was on his tear, averaging triple-doubles. So I'm going to go with what Lucas said.
This one surprised me. This is why I like that we're doing this. So Harden did get 86 first-place votes. So he did win the award with a total of 965 votes. But LeBron was second with 738.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
LeBron was second.
Well, that was his Cleveland, his second.
Yeah,
Cleveland
he was
run.
still 33.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what's wild. And because he was so young. Third place, Anthony Davis.
Really?
When he was on the Pelicans. Yeah.
Oh, that was the last year that he was on the No, the second to last year when they made that deep playoff.
It was that crazy. Yeah, when they drew Holiday, he was
that the year that they traded for Boogie and Boogie got injured?
I think it might have been the year before.
Okay.
But it was the year AD was just like unstoppable when he still had a little, quickness to his game. He had 445 votes, so he was third. And then Damian Lillard was fourth.
Okay.
207.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was a good run. Westbrook was fifth. Giannis was sixth. Yeah, it was LeBron and AD who ended up teaming up. But, all right, let's get through some of these, though. All right, both guys have an unbelievable, it's very similar, actually, the amount of accomplishments they have. How many times has James Harden been an all-star? I'm going to start off with Maurice.
I'm going to go around 9.
Okay. And Lucas.
That's a tough one. So he didn't get it any of the first 3 years that he was in OKC, right? So that means he didn't get it the first year he was in Houston either. So that brings us down to 11 years. He missed it last year with the Sixers. So that takes away another one. So that's 10. I'm going to say 10. I feel good about 10.
Uriah?
All right. So Lucas had his calculator out. So
computer's closed. I am not cheating.
I'm giving you props. Your mental calculator. I was impressed by that. So I'm going to go with what Lucas said.
All right. Uriah and Lucas. Congratulations. You are the winners.
Yes.
Yeah.
10 straight, too. So kind of good calculus, Lucas. I was like following you, and I was like, oh, okay, that adds up.
Yeah, his first year in Houston, he only averaged 22 points per game. So
right.
Yeah, and he was overshadowed by, I think even like Serge Ibaka got it over in 1 year.
That's crazy.
Because he was the sixth man. All right, so 10-time All-Star. How many times has he been All-NBA first team? Now keep in mind, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry.
Westbrook.
Yeah, keep in mind those guys.
Chris Paul.
Yep, these are all in his prime. Those 4 guys. We could just leave it at that.
That's honestly another similarity between these guys because they both were in the high age of guards in their own generation.
Well, also, same generation. Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty wild. So how many times was he first team, though? So keep that in mind. All those guards, about an 8-year prime together, maybe even 10. I'm going to start off with Uriah. How many times was James Harden?
Probably not many years. I'll give him benefit of the doubt and say twice. Maybe because Curry might have been hurt 1 year. Maybe I don't know. I have no clue.
All right, Maurice.
I'm gonna go. It's between 4 and 5. I'm gonna go 4.
All right, Lucas.
Part of me wants to agree with Uriah, but I also I'm gonna say 2.
So the clue, you guys are all wrong by a lot. Except Maurice, kind of.
Wait, we're all wrong by a lot?
Yeah, it was 6.
Really?
6.
You threw us off by saying all those other plays.
Yeah, I set you up. Sorry, but you have to remember he was an MVP finalist like 3 or 4 times. So obviously, if you're an NBA finalist, you're one of the 3 best players in the league that year. So I knew it was going to be more than that. But yeah, 6-time All-NBA first team. So All-NBA third team once. So he's never been second team. So he's 7-time All-NBA player, 6-time All-NBA first team. He was the NBA 6th man of the year in his 3rd season with when OKC made the finals. I forgot that. Durant. Yeah, so he has been 6th man of the year. He has a lot of accomplishments as far as diversity. Mm-hmm. How many times has he been the NBA scoring champ?
I know this one. I said this earlier.
He did.
I won't say anything.
He's tied for 6th all time with this number, by the way. Maurice, how many times?
I'm going to go 6.
Okay. You're right?
I think it's 6.
And Lucas?
3 times.
Lucas York are the winner.
That's 3?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I said it earlier. You weren't listening.
We weren't listening.
In the words of Chris Tucker, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
He did it 3 years in a row, 2018, 2019, 2020. I think Russell Westbrook won it a couple times when he was the only guy on OKC. And then, and then Curry won it once or twice. So he lost it to those guys a few times. All right, so Harden, not in the same year. So he was a 3-time scoring champion 3 years in a row, 2018, 2019, 2020. 2-time NBA assist leader in different years. So again, this guy just is like, you know what, I'm going to lead the league in assists. 2017 with the Rockets, and he did it last year with Embiid in 2023. He was the NBA All-Rookie second team in 2010. Again, he came off the bench. He kind of was drafted into a super team with Durant and Westbrook. NBA 75th anniversary team. Did he ever play for the Olympics?
I'm going to say no. I don't think he has.
Okay. Maurice?
Oh, yeah. That is strange. It's strange. I know because Steph Curry's going to do it for the first time this summer. That is strange, yeah.
I thought he played once, but maybe I'm off. I just remember seeing that Kyrie Irving clip where he's dribbling between his legs, and I could have sworn I've seen a big beard in the clip, but maybe I'm wrong.
So, Uriah, you were correct, but what's interesting is it was early in his career when he was on the Thunder. So he played with Kobe. He played in not the Redeem team, but the year after.
That's what I thought.
He played in 2012, which is interesting because he was a 6th man.
Right.
Wow.
So they picked him. So I thought that was a very interesting choice.
I do not remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was quite young. He was only I think he was only about 22 maybe.
He must have been like the end of the bench type guy for that Olympic team.
Yeah, if he was young, he probably didn't get as much time.
So he won a gold medal with that Olympic team. And he was on that World Cup team in 2014. Not on this list is an NBA championship. He has made the NBA Finals in 2012. What stands out, guys? What stands out? I'm going to start off with Uriah.
I think the one that stands out is the 6th man of the year. I completely forgot that was an accolade that he put under his belt. It just shows you that OKC made the wrong choice by letting him go. They could have easily put him in the starting lineup, and that would have been a homegrown big 3. I'm sure that Oklahoma City fans are probably still mad at their management for letting Harden walk. They should have paid him what he was worth, and I think that franchise would have a different legacy based on Harden staying if they kept him.
No, it's a good take. It's interesting because OKC has since draft really well, that franchise.
Yes, they do.
I think objectively you can say their scouting is just second round, first round. Jalen Williams falls to 12. They just draft incredibly well. So they just got to work on
keeping their players.
They got to work on keeping their players, man. That's the thing. And
this new young core is about to get the Bills about to start coming.
Oh yeah, they won't be able to afford all of them. All right, Maurice, what stands out?
What stands out to me is James Harden should have had more than one MVP.
You stole mine, but yeah, I agree. I agree. No, you stole mine, but we're on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah, he should have had more than one MVP. I know it was the era of Curry and
Westbrook. That Westbrook triple-double year is pretty contentious, depending on how you view how he got
it. It is. You still had LeBron around at that point. What Harden was doing scoring-wise, and he was really carrying that Rockets team. They had some players on that team that, didn't show up pretty much all season. And they were still very competitive. And for him to only get one MVP, it's kind of a shame.
I do have to mention this. So 4 years straight, Harden was an MVP finalist. 4 years straight, from 2017 to 2020. So that is pretty wild that he only got one.
Yeah.
To finish.
4 times, that says a lot.
Yeah. Lucas, I know Maurice stole your thunder, but what else you got?
I mean, outside of that, if this award was there, he probably would have gotten it at some point. But during the regular season, he probably would have gotten the clutch award. Yeah, I think if that was there, he probably would have gotten it during his prime. I can definitely say the same thing about Allen Iverson too. But yeah.
Well, Allen Iverson, he doesn't have as many, I say, game winners as Harden and some of his other contemporaries. So,
fair.
But I agree, Lucas. I think Harden was clutch, especially when he was in Houston.
Yeah, at least during the regular season.
I would say this about, we'll get into it, but with Iverson, just you felt safe at the end of the game with him in a way that I don't know. Both guys, Harden really showed me something in that Boston series. So, yeah, both guys were clutch and then also inconsistent.
2001 NBA MVP, Allen Iverson. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank, first of all, God above, because without God, none of this would be possible. I want to thank my family and my friends, my coaching staff, and my teammates, because without my teammates, I definitely wouldn't be up here getting this award right now. And I want to thank the fans in Philadelphia who have embraced me from day one. Every time I come in this gym, in this arena, I hear my favorite song. Y'all voices. So it's time for y'all to play that song. Let's make this noise and get this party jumping.
I see Ben smiling over there. I'm sure that brought back a good memory.
I could just use that. I could use that pregame right now with what we're going through. All right. That is Allen Iverson accepting his 2001 MVP Most Valuable Player Award. Some trivia. Who did he beat out that year in the MVP race? And try and think of the order. I'm going to start off with Maurice.
Shaq, and I want to say Vince Carter. The top 3, right?
Yeah, top 3 or 4. Yeah. You can extend it to 4 even.
Shaq, Vince Carter, and Kevin Garnett.
All right. And Uriah.
Wow. I agree with Maurice. I think Shaq was in the running at that point. I don't know if Tim Duncan was getting numbers like that quite yet. But the Spurs did win in 1999, and they were winning at the time. So I'll say Duncan was in there. I'll just say Duncan and Shaq.
All right, and Lucas.
I'll go Shaq was 2. Now this is where it gets tricky because I'm like, I know the stars at the time, but I wish I was more familiar. 2001. Yeah, I'm going to say Duncan, and then Vince Carter was fourth. That's who I'm going to say.
Loving the Vince Carter love. I wish, man. Vince Carter was unfortunately tied for 11th. Ray Allen. T-Mac was 6. Tracy McGrady at 21 years old was 6 because that was his first year in Orlando.
Oh, first year in Orlando. Okay, makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah, he was 6 at 21. So Iverson was first. He killed it. 1,121 points. Second was Tim Duncan at 706.
Okay.
Third was Shaq, 578, but very close. Chris Seaweb. That was when the Kings. Seaweb was fourth.
That makes sense.
And then Garnett fifth, and T-Mac was sixth. But yeah, I forgot about Chris Webber.
Okay.
But yeah, he won by a lot. Iverson that year, and Tim Duncan was second. Allen Iverson All-Stars. I think we know this, but how many times was he an All-Star? Mind you, he would have been an All-Star another time. He's a victim of the half season of the lockout season. The 1999 season, they did not have All-Stars. Maurice, how many All-Stars did Iverson have?
It's either 7 or 8. So I want to say 90. So 99 was a lockout. So 2000 to 2008. So yeah, I'm gonna say 8 years, 8 seasons.
You're right.
I'll go with Maurice. I'll say 8.
Lucas.
I know that he got it even in his last season. So I'm going to say, yeah. He was voted an All-Star by the fans.
With Memphis?
Well, technically Philly.
Oh, that's right.
Wow, okay.
That's right. He did go back to Philly. I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah. That feels like a weird dream.
Yeah.
Like, or some,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, it's,
So you got 9.
Yeah, I'm going to say 9, yeah.
It's actually 11.
What?
Huh?
11 straight, yeah.
We're all wrong.
He was actually, the last season, the last season, he didn't really, the fans voted him, but he did have a really good 12-year stretch. And what's funny is he would have gotten it in 99, the lockout year, but he also got snubbed in his second year. They arguably in the 98 season. So he could have been an All-Star even longer. But yeah, 11 straight years, 2000 to 2010. He was the 2-time NBA All-Star Game MVP in 2001 and 2005. All right. How many times was Iverson All-NBA first team? Let's start off with Uriah.
First team. Woo, man. Jeez, he played in the same time as Steve Nash, Stephon Marbury, Tracy McGrady, Kobe. I'm going to say 5 times.
Maurice.
4.
And Lucas.
I'll say 4 as well.
You guys are all wrong.
What?
I think it had to do with the Sixers not being good. I was surprised with this one. It was only 3.
Oh, okay.
I think it's because the Sixers just weren't very good for a while. Like, they weren't a top 3 seed many times. And I think to get that first team, you kind of have to be a contender. So I think that hurt him. But he was so in 99, 2001, 2005, 2005 was his best statistical year. That was the year he averaged 33 and 8. He was first team. And he was All-NBA second team 3 times, 2000, 2002, and 2003, and All-NBA third team in 2006. So he was still very relevant for about 11 years because his career started in 2006. You're right. Some of those All-Stars were sketchy at the end. Allen Iverson was the 1997 NBA Rookie of the Year. We all know that. Yeah. He went on that insane stretch where he scored like 40, 50 points. What was it, like 5 or 6 games in a row?
Oh, yeah.
All-NBA rookie first team. How many times was Allen Iverson the NBA scoring champion? Maurice.
Oh, I think Lucas mentioned that earlier.
I did, but I forgot.
Yeah, I did. I forgot too. 5? He led the league of scoring a cut up. I'm going to say 5. I'm going to go with 5, a final answer.
All right, you're right.
I'll go with 6.
Lucas.
think it's 4, if I remember correctly.
Uriah and Maurice, you guys are wrong. It's 4. Hey. You're right. It's 4. So he does have one more scoring championship than Harden. 99, 2001, 2002, and 2005. Mind you, Kobe had some nuts years. Tracy McGrady and Kobe were like going at it. So he lost to, there's a year Kobe averaged over 35. So he was in a pretty like difficult time. Shaq even. Yeah. I think Shaq won it once or twice. He's the NBA steals leader 3 times, 2001 to 2003, NBA 75th anniversary team. And his number 3 has been retired with the Sixers. And then we already know this, but was he ever on the Olympic team?
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Yeah. 2004. And
he wasn't the one team that didn't win gold.
Yeah. He won the bronze. But not his fault. That roster construction was awful. So they had to do the redeemed team. He played with not the best players, in my opinion. So, yeah, Iverson had the heart of a winner, but just never really had the players around him. And so, again, just like James Harden, Harden's issue might have been he bounced around too much. Iverson's might have been he stayed in a franchise that never provided him a good second option. Arguably, Iverson's best second option, I know not to say your thunder, Maurice, but was early in his career. They should have made Jerry Stackhouse and him work out. That was his most talented second option, or draft Paul Pierce. But anyway, that's it for Iverson's accomplishments. What stands out to you guys? I'm going to start with Lucas.
The fact that the fans kept on voting him after he was well past his prime for All-Stars. That's the easy one. Like, goodness gracious.
I mean, he was still good on Denver. So you have to remember that. He was still good till 2008. He was not because he took a backseat finally to Carmelo, but yeah, that is a good point. Uriah, what stands out to you?
I would say the number of All-Stars, was it 11 you said, Ben? And I think one of the things about Iverson is, as was mentioned, he's a cultural icon. The cornrows, the tattoos, the baggy clothes, the jewelry. He had a tremendous impact on how little kids dressed. You have little kids, whether black or white, come to Sixers games with cornrows in their hair and fake tattoos. So that showed you his reach of popularity. For him to keep being sent back to the All-Star game just shows you how powerful his influence was in terms of fandom and the NBA becoming a global establishment. I mean, 92 Dream Team started it all, but Iverson just took the ball and ran with it, especially in China. He's huge in China, along with James Harden. Two very popular players in China.
Yep.
Yeah. And for me, too, reputation, he was one of the most popular players. So anytime you have a fan vote, he's going to garner a lot of votes for the All-Star game, even if, we all knew at that point, he was outside of his prime. But I got one question for you guys. Did any of you guys have a pair of the answers?
Oh, you mean the shoes? No, I was too little at that time.
I think I might have had it. I think I might have had a pair. I
had a pair.
Yeah. I had like the 1, 2, 3. I had all through high school. That's what
all of
guys. I was still trying to get those light up sneakers when he first got into the league. So,
okay,
because I was like, guys, 96, I was 4.
Wait, by the way, Maurice, Iverson arguably has one of the best sneaker commercials of all time.
Where the one with the rapper Jada Kiss?
Yeah, him and Jada, they were just going back and like that was iconic.
Yeah.
That was iconic. I mean, Kobe tried. I mean, Kobe was a decent rapper. He was in a song with Brian McKnight. He had a cameo on there. But AI just, man, he spit bars. Tyra Banks, what?
Kobe has a song where he raps with Tyra Banks. Nice. I'm not even kidding. It's a single.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, Iverson, anything involving the hip hop culture, Allen Iverson was a part of. That's what made him. It's part of the made him so popular.
I used to go to the Reebok store in King of Prussia Mall in middle school and just hang out there, and it was all Iverson. Like Reebok was not doing much, right? They had Shaq.
He saved Reebok. He kind of did.
He completely the questions. Apparently, it was the first time anyone ever. I think there was I don't know the numbers, but it was the first time anyone like challenged the Jordans.
Yes. Yeah, and it was with Reebok. Like not the most. I mean, you got Nike and Adidas. That was like 1 and 2, and then Iverson came in, and his influence took Reebok to another level. And in terms of his iconic look, I bumped into Iverson a handful of times in Hampton, Virginia, and seeing him up close, standing next to him in Walmart. I told this story with Lucas on the Sixer Sense many times. I was in Walmart, and I look behind me, and I see Iverson standing there, and he's got the biggest bag of Cheetos that you could ever imagine. So AI loves Cheetos. And then I've seen him all around Hampton. He'd have like this huge medallion on. He would drive around campus with his maroon Bentley. And a few times he would show up on the courts behind the dormitories and just shoot by himself, not actually playing games. But yeah, Iverson was a phenom, like completely cultural icon.
Well, that's it for AI and Harden. I'm going to switch it over. I think like it's important to talk about why these guys don't have a chip. So Maurice, I think that your segment is a big part of that. So
yes, it is.
Let's hear about their teammates.
I got you.
At that point, like, I wasn't really hip to the business side of it. Like, I wasn't really locked in with the front office to like, let's have a conversation about our team going forward. So this kind of the talks hit me out of nowhere. So I didn't really know how to deal with it at that point. So it was just like, I'm just focused on doing my job. Like, whoever come in here to play, like, it's cool. Like, we had a good run. We still got good players. And, if it works for both sides, then let's just do it. You know what I'm saying? But then you see, because James came off the bench for us, and then you see how he plays as a starter. It was just like, hold up. Now, was that a good move? 4 or 5 years later, it was just like, even the first game, 37?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 35 and 10.
12 and winning games. It's just.
That was Kevin Durant on, was it the JJ Redick podcast? Yeah. So let's talk about James Harden, drafted 3rd overall in the 2009 NBA draft. Immediately, he went to a great team, and this roster was constructed very well with Durant and Russell Westbrook being already on the team. Immediately, they went to the Western Conference Finals. They also went to the NBA Finals the next season after that. So I'll start with the 2011-2012 Oklahoma City Thunder, who went to the finals, and that was James Harden's only appearance in the NBA Finals as of today. So let's talk about this team. I already mentioned Kevin Durant. I already mentioned Russell Westbrook. Also on that team, a winner that we talked about him before with Kobe, Derek Fisher was on that roster.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
With Oklahoma City?
Yes, the 2011-2012.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. A couple names might peak Lucas. Nick Collison.
All-time OKC great.
Yeah, he was. Serge Ibaka was on that team. This was a good team. Reggie Jackson, Thabo Sefolosha.
Oh, yeah, Thabo Sefolosha. Yeah, he was one of those wings that couldn't shoot but was like a lockdown defender that would not survive in today's NBA.
And our favorite basketball analyst right now, Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah. Do you remember who they traded to get Kendrick Perkins? Jeff Green, Uncle Jeff.
Jeff Green's been around forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Andre Miller both seem like they've been in the league for like 25 years.
I mean, been a while. It's been a while for Uncle Jeff. Yes, got that championship last year, though.
Yeah, he did. Before I go on, because this is a contentious topic when it comes to James Harden. If he would have stayed with Durant and Russell Westbrook, would that have been the dynasty of the 2010s over the Warriors?
Ooh, that is a good question.
Yeah, because of how much better Harden got. Yeah, without a doubt.
But would Harden have gotten that good if he wasn't allowed to be the true number one on a team?
I think they would have figured it out. And in a 7-game series, if you have all those 3 players at their peak with like really good role players, you're not beating them in 7 games.
I don't know about that because Harden is such a high usage player. And like, yes, he's a great playmaker, but he needs to have the ball in his hands, and Westbrook is essentially useless without the ball in his hands. That's why they can't start together now. That one time in Houston, it was so awful. So
I don't know.
I'm going to say no, just because I think they needed to break up now, if the question was if they would have given up on Westbrook and kept the core of Harden and Durant together, I would say yes. I think they could have won a championship.
You're right.
I go.
I have to say they could have if they had the right coach. And when I say the right coach, who is the ultimate coach to get star players to put the egos aside and win championships? That would be Phil Jackson. Now, would Phil Jackson go to a small market team like OKC? Probably not. But I think if they would have been a dynasty, they would have had to had the right coach to kind of get them to get into a system where they shared the ball. But Lucas has a good point. Russell Westbrook has never been a good shooter, so it would have been really difficult for them to do had he stayed without the right coach.
Go ahead.
By the way, you're right. I thought you were going to say Doc Rivers for a second. I was going to have a heart attack.
Wait, why was I going? I was like, if you said Uriah, this has to be a joke, a setup for a joke.
You thought I was going to say Doc Rivers? Oh man.
Well, I mean, he did it in Boston in 2008, so you know.
I thought it was a setup for a joke, Uriah.
I thought it was too.
I would say this, because if they would have had Kevin Durant wouldn't have left to go to State. So you're talking about a core three of Durant, Westbrook, and Harden versus a core three of Clay, Curry, and Draymond. And I would take the OKC big three over there.
So I think the thing we're missing is Durant was already in his prime. He was the oldest of the group. When Harden left, that's when Russ got better, and his athleticism is what carried him. And then Harden ascended. So I just think if you kept them another 2 or 3 year, you would have had a chip.
And you can't forget about Ibaka, who was younger, stronger, more nimble.
Yeah.
He got a chip in Toronto. Had he been part of that big three, they would have won at least 2 championships.
That would have been big four. Yeah. We talked about this with OKC. They had some good drafts. They really have. They've done a really good job in drafting guys, because at the end of the day, you're talking about Oklahoma City. They're not going to bring in big-time free agents. They have to either trade for them or just draft them.
Yep.
So they've done a good job. All right, so let's move on to James Harden, who eventually went on to play for the Houston Rockets. I'm going to go to the 2014-2015 season, because that was their best season. They got to the Western Conference Finals. Against Golden State. They lost 4-1. This was during the Warriors dynasty era, so they weren't going to get past them. But let's talk about that team for a second. Some players on that team were Trevor Ariza, Patrick Beverley.
Wow, I forgot.
Clint Capella, KJ McDaniels, Josh Smith, Jason Terry, and Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard missed a lot of time that season, if you guys remember that.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a back? It might have been a back injury.
Yeah, it was the back stuff at that point for Dwight. Yeah. He just couldn't stay healthy. Stole his athleticism.
Yeah, I wish he was healthy, because they could have been. I think Dwight Howard would have been a great weapon against what the Warriors did, because he was an athletic, big shot blocker.
Oh, yeah.
Big what if. And before we move on, I'm going to ask the question I always ask. I think this one is obvious. Who won the most games? No.
Not necessarily, because I have no clue.
This is going to be a 2 question. So I'm just going to ask the straight up question. Who won the most games with James Harden as a teammate? I'm going to start with Lucas.
Who won the most games with James Harden as a teammate? That is a tough call. I'm going to go with Westbrook.
Wow, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. OKC, Houston, and now with the Clippers. I'm gonna ride that. I'm gonna go with what Lucas said.
And Ben,
I'm gonna go PJ Tucker randomly.
So PJ Tucker was number 3, and Lucas and Uriah, you guys are correct.
Thank you, Lucas.
But real quick, one more time, around the horn, real quick. What was the number? Over under. I'm gonna give you over under.
I thought he was going to have us guess the actual number. I'd have been like,
no. Over under on the number of wins Westbrook had, because that was a good grab by Lucas, because They played together at 3 different places. So, over under 245. Ben?
Over.
Lucas?
I'm going to say under.
I'm going to say under just because I feel like that's a trick question.
It's actually over. Ben is right. 249.
Okay. I thought it was a trick question.
249 wins with Westbrook and James Harden.
Who was number 2? Was it Kevin Durant?
Number 2 was actually Clint Capella.
Huh. Go figure.
Yeah. Durant was 5th, and Trevor Ariza was 4th. So at this point, James Harden was with the Houston Rockets. They were competitive, and he's played with some other greats on that team, like Chris Paul. Once again, Uriah mentioned it earlier. If Chris Paul didn't have his injury, who knows? They could have gotten to the finals that season. But after that, James Harden kind of got tired of Houston, requested a trade, and he formed a Big Three in Brooklyn. I think Stephen A. Smith called them Lethal Weapon 3. That was their official nickname for them.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So, the 2020-2021 Brooklyn Nets. The teammates were LaMarcus Aldridge.
Ooh.
Jared Allen. Forget about Jared Allen with the Nets. A young Nick Claxton. Spencer Dinwiddie. Once again, Jeff Green. Once again, Blake Griffin. This was an all-star team. Joe Harris, DeAndre Jordan, and of course, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Now, this team, I guess it's still fresh in our memories. This team was a Kevin Durant toe away from getting to the finals. Do you remember that?
To get to the Eastern Conference Finals, there's no guarantee that they would have won that series.
I think they would have.
Well, Kevin Durant said that he was out of gas.
Didn't they play an injured Hawks team?
No, the Hawks weren't injured.
Yeah, Trae Young was injured. He was out a couple games in that series.
Well, then, yeah,
in the final.
Probably.
He was in like a boot half the series.
Yeah, this was a really good team for the Brooklyn Nets. They were a 3-point shot, 2 points to 3-point shot away from maybe going to the finals once again. James Harden came real close to another finals appearance, but this was pretty much the last time, well, until now, as we record this, the last time James Harden came close to a finals appearance. He also played with the Sixers after that, with Joel Embiid. He played with Tyrese Maxey, and now he's on the team, the Los Angeles Clippers, with Russell Westbrook again, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. To wrap this up, let me ask you guys this. Who was the most impactful player James Harden has played with in his entire career?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'm sorry, Uriah.
It's a good question. Impactful. I'm going to go, it's too easy to go with Durant because they went to the finals together early in their careers, and obviously they reunited in Brooklyn. But I'm actually going to go with Chris Paul because Chris Paul took the playmaking responsibility out of his hands and allowed Harden to, I guess, focus more on scoring. Mm-hmm. So I think Chris Paul really, look, wherever Chris Paul has went, they've always gotten better, whether it's OKC, whether it's Phoenix. And when he got to Houston, they almost went to the finals. So I would go with the point god, Chris Paul.
Lucas?
I'm going to go with the guy that he helped get an MVP for, Joel Embiid.
That's a good one.
Granted, it was only for a year and a half, but let's think about it. Caused Harden to have his second season leading the league in assists with double-digit assists. It definitely helped stabilize Harden's reputation, at least for a short time, after the whole entire Brooklyn fiasco and Houston fiasco. It also helped him to begin the transition of not being the superstar of the team anymore, relying on other players to get points because he just can't quite do the same things he used to. And, you know, mentoring a young guy who's now arguably looking like one of the best point guards in the Eastern Conference playoffs. So that's who I'm going to go with, the James Harden and Joel Embiid. And they were one of the best scoring duos of all time, I think, right?
Yeah.
So,
and Lucas, he did help Tyrese Maxey with his development.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to when I was,
Right. Maxey now has the step back because of Harden, right?
Yeah, that step back is definitely Harden-esque.
Huge what if James Harden and B played more seasons together. I would have loved to have seen that tandem for 5 years and ride it out and see if they could win a championship together. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing, it's interesting, like the jumping around, there's continuity with players. It just doesn't, the grass is always greener with some of these guys in the offseason. It's just like Harden, unfortunately, Durant, you're seeing some of these guys, they just have, sometimes you got to stick it out. And I'm going to say Durant just because, like, when he was with Durant, Durant was the best player in the world, or top 2 or 3 with like LeBron, and even Durant after the surgery, what he was doing in the playoffs in 2021. And it's unfortunate that the injury bug kind of came at the wrong time because they were the better team than Milwaukee. Everyone can say that. So it is a bummer. But I would say Kevin Durant, they were a very good combination. And I think that's why he did work well with the Joel Embiid, because Durant and Embiid's games are very similar, actually, with like the mid-range, the touch, both 7 feet. So I think Durant really was his best teammate.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Allen Iverson.
And one story I have. We have a practice. He's going hard as I don't know what. The media's been on him, kind of all this, and he's just mad. He's quiet. He's not saying nothing. I'm like, oh, yeah, I feel something coming. Go to Milwaukee. It was the best game I've ever seen by a teammate in my life. He gave them 60-something, passing the ball, doing his thing. Was he a difficult player to play with? He only knows how to score. He only knows how to go hard. But I've never in my life, never, played with a player that played as hard as him on the court. Maybe Bobby Jackson, Doug Christie, other guys that played as hard. And so it's a lot of guys I know played as hard, but I've never been with somebody played as hard as him. And so when I see him going through all this, I just...
All right, so that was Chris Webber talking about the toughness and durability of Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was drafted first overall in the 1996 NBA draft. Now, when I was looking up the teammates for Allen Iverson, I was shocked by some of the teammates he played for. Now, I think the worst part of Allen Iverson's career for me is he just never had that number 2 guy, that true number 2 star, that all-star talent next to him to make him better, or at least elevate him to a higher standard. And it's a shame. It really is, because I think he deserved an opportunity, a real opportunity to be a champion in the NBA. So let's go to Allen Iverson's teammates. I'm going to skip around until we get to the 01, because 01 was his best season overall and success-wise. So some of his early teammates were Jerry Stackhouse, Derek Coleman, Clarence Weatherspoon. Now, here's some names I didn't even realize he played for on the Sixers. Mind you, this is the time I was just getting into basketball myself. Benoit Benjamin, Terry Cummings, Tom Chambers. I didn't know Tom Chambers played for the Sixers.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Jim Jackson, Joe Smith. It was like he bounced around everywhere, it seems like. Tim Thomas. And let me skip, before I ask a question, let me skip to the 01 season, because that was their most successful season. That was their championship season. Some of the teammates on that team that went to the NBA Finals against the Lakers and lost 4-1 were Raja Bell, Tyrone Hill, George Lynch, Eric Snow, Dikembe Mutombo, and Aaron McKee. So, I'm going to ask you guys this. Who won the most games with Allen Iverson as a teammate? And I asked the question here because it's definitely a Sixer, because no other teammate he played for with in Denver or any other stop. So, who won the most games with Allen Iverson as a teammate? I'm going to start with Uriah.
I'm going to say Aaron McKee. I remember when Aaron McKee was traded to the Sixers. It was like December of '97 or something like that. I think that was the Stackhouse trade. And Iverson
from Detroit.
Iverson played a lot of years with McKee. So I'm going to say Aaron McKee.
Lucas?
That's a tough one. Yet again, this was a little bit before I started watching basketball, but if I had to guess, I don't know how many seasons Theo Ratliff was in Philly, so I'm going to go with Aaron McKee as well.
Ben?
Eric Snow, I'm going to say.
Okay. So, Lucas and Uriah? It is Aaron McKee with 287 wins between the two of them. They played together from 97 until 2005.
That was his best friend on this team, I believe. I think they were tight.
Yeah.
Aaron McKee, yeah.
And real quick, Eric Snow was number 2 with 238. And number 3 was Tyrone Hill with 129. I'm going to move on to the 06-07 Denver Nuggets. Once Allen Iverson's time with the Sixers ran its course, he got traded to Denver. This is probably Allen Iverson's best teammate. Now, you could easily make the case. At this point, Iverson wasn't number 2. That's a debate in itself.
Right.
I don't know, but they both were scoring players, him and Carmelo Anthony at this point. There was a lot of questions on how this would work. I'm going to go with the 08-09 Denver Nuggets. They won 54 games that season. Some of his teammates were Chris Anderson, Birdman, Ronaldo Balkman.
I remember Ronaldo Balkman with those crazy dreadlocks. Yeah.
I don't remember him at all. But
no, he played on the Knicks for a little bit too afterwards.
Yeah, Nene Hilario.
Nene, I love Nene. He was fun.
I think he's
that was a good teammate.
I think he's the only player that just Nene. They don't put anything else. It's just Nene. Jawan Howard.
He was on that team?
In the league.
Yeah.
He was in the league.
Nets assistant coach.
Yes, he is. Kenyon Martin, J.R. Smith, and of course Carmelo Anthony.
Man, he already had so much more talent in that Denver team than he ever had.
Yeah.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Wow.
And didn't they get to the West Finals that year, or no?
No, they flamed out, I think, in the first or second round, but
they lost.
The Lakers.
They didn't have enough defense, right? It was the defense.
Yeah, they didn't have enough defense.
Yeah.
I think they were like the first 50-win team to get swept in the playoffs.
Did they really get swept?
Yeah, they got swept by the Lakers.
Yeah. Shaq and Kobe.
That wasn't Shaq.
No,
that was
Kobe and Powell.
Kobe and Gasol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like early Kobe and Gasol.
It must have been like the first year of Kobe and Gasol, actually. Yeah.
Like 08. Yeah.
Yeah, and from there, Allen Iverson kind of drifted from there to the to the Detroit Pistons. There were some quotes that Iverson didn't want to come off the bench. He played a handful of games in Memphis, and then he actually retired again as a Sixer, played a couple games, and then that was it. He didn't, and it was all over after that. So let me ask the question. I asked the question for James Harden. Now I ask the question again. Who was the most impactful player for Iverson throughout his NBA career? I'm going to start with Ben.
I'm going to go with Eric Snow.
I actually going to say Eric Snow, too.
Yeah, just like he was his leader, and I think he trusted him.
Yeah.
And they were a interesting backcourt. It, like, functioned well. And you kind of see that dynamic where you have this aggressive scoring guard, and then you have another guard with size who does everything else, all the dirty work. I think he was all NBA defense one year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say Eric Snow was actually a good running mate guard for him. So I'm going to say Eric Snow. I think that wasn't the issue with those teams in Philly, which I'll get to, but I would say Eric Snow.
Lucas?
I'm going to say Carmelo because he never played with another player like Carmelo. And this is young, trying to figure it out, skinny Carmelo before he got, I don't know, Carmelo had a weird body change when he went to New York. But anyway, anyway, moving on. But no, he had somebody that was actually on his level for one time in his career.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm going to say Carmelo.
You all right?
Both are great answers. I think Eric Snow, Kobe Bryant has been on record saying that Snow's been one of the best defenders to guard him, and that enabled Iverson not to have to play Kobe, especially in the finals. And Lucas, Carmelo was his most talented teammate, hands down. I can't think of another player who was on the same level as Iverson, all-star and just prolific scorer. I'm going to go with Aaron McKee just because I feel like McKee was able to, in his own way, kind of help guide Iverson because he was a little bit older. He was a veteran. He had a lot of experience. And Aaron McKie was like a straight and narrow guy. Like you never heard his name in any controversy. Not that I know.
Sixth man of the year.
Yeah, sixth man of the year. Unselfish player. And I know earlier it was a joke that Aaron McKie was like his next best player, but Aaron McKie was a solid player. So I'll go with McKie.
Okay, maybe I'm just missing the memo because like I came in post 2005.
Mm-hmm.
But how can you win a sixth man of the year award when you only average 11 points per game as a shooting guard?
Well, that was like a different era.
Yeah,
different era. The guys played more minutes, Lucas. So six man as we see now, it's the minutes thing. So that's why you see more Jordan Clarksons. That didn't exist back then. Your sixth man was not scoring more than 13, 14 points.
Okay. And he was a good defender, and he passed. He did a lot of little things that helped the Sixers make the finals that season. So that's why.
Okay. No, I was just. I'm like, how? In my head, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like Bobby Jackson was considered one of the best six men, Jason Terry. And if you look at their numbers back in the day, I think they weren't even really cracking more than 15
Jason
points.
Terry, yeah.
It was just different.
I remember Jason Terry. He was averaging like 15, 17 points per game. That's fair. By the way, shout out to who won it this year? Nazir Reed.
Nazir,
he was averaging 13 and 8, right? So.
Yeah, and honestly, like that's the thing. The Sixers were the number one seed. The Wolves were tied for the number one, so I think they went with. That's how McKie got it.
Yeah, and
he was a difference maker too.
And
like they gave him the ball when Iverson would be doubled. Like it was McKee's shot.
Yeah.
And real quick before we wrap this up, two things I wanted to mention, and I talked about roster construction a lot on this podcast. Allen Iverson just was unlucky. He got a lot of great players towards the tail end of their careers,
right?
Like Chris Webber and Glenn Robinson, at least with the Sixers.
You know, I noticed that was a common theme with
Keith Van
superstars in the 2000s because the same thing happened to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that when he had post-prime Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Larry Hughes post-prime, Antoine Jameson, Drew Gooden, Ben Wallace post-prime. And you think about it, it's just like the only player that actually got an all-star during his first run was Mo Williams, but I'm digressing.
Yeah, I mean that's why Iverson left. That's why LeBron left. It was like Iverson 2.0.
Real quick, just to wrap this up, we don't talk about coaches much, but Larry Brown had a huge influence on Allen Iverson, and I don't think there's another coach in the NBA at that time that could have gotten as much out of Allen Iverson like Larry Brown did. You remember in the All-Star game when he got the MVP, he's like, "Where's my coach? Where's my coach?"
Yeah, where's my coach?
So Larry Brown is kind of synonymous with Allen Iverson, and he got a lot out of him as well.
Yeah, Allen lucked out with the coaches, John Thompson and Larry Brown. Like he got the like him and Jordan had like the best coaches. I'll let Uriah go. I have a massive point I have to make on this. Let me know when we can go.
No, you go now.
I think the number one thing that people don't talk about with Iverson is the front office. The 1997-1998 draft. 1998 draft is one of the best drafts of all time. 97 was top heavy. We drafted Keith Van Horn with the second pick, traded him for Tim Thomas. We could have drafted Tracy McGrady. We could have drafted Chauncey Billups, a bunch of other players. The 98 draft, we drafted Larry Hughes. Next dude in line, Dirk Nowitzki. Next guy after that, Paul Pierce. So I think that mismanagement in those two drafts, because we had high draft picks, right? The rest of Iverson's career was a playoff player. They were mid, but those two drafts, I think, dictated the lack of depth that Iverson was able to have. I understand that we got these role players from Detroit with McKee. It's great. The Paul Pierce, Dirk Nowitzki, Tracy McGrady, Chauncey Billups misses just killed, I think, that led to a bad career. In my opinion.
Those are all great points. You're a Sixers fan, right, Ben?
Yeah.
He's like, okay. We didn't get this. We didn't get that. All right. Anyway, so I have 3 questions. Quick vote. Who had the deadlier signature move? Harden step back or Iverson's crossover?
Ooh.
Lucas,
that's a good question.
Lucas, you go first.
I'm going to go with the guy that the move that gets you normally more 3-pointers, and that's going to be the step back, right? So I'm going to go with the step back.
Okay. Maurice?
I'm going to go with the one that gives you the more oohs and ahs, and it's on the highlight reels, and that's the crossover.
All right, and Ben?
I'm going to go, they're different for their time. I'm going to go with probably the step back because so many guys do it now.
Yeah.
I
would go with the step back for the logic that Lucas said. Who has the better taunting highlight? Iverson step over in the finals or Harden shimmy and pull up 3-pointer?
It's the step over.
The step over, yeah.
Step over.
That's iconic at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just put it out there. And the last one. Who had the funnier on-court controversy? Harden in the fat suit or Iverson's practice press conference rant?
Ooh, practice. We talk practice.
You gotta go
I
practice.
would say practice. However, now that we know the context behind it, I'm going to say the fat suit.
They're still doing commercials about practice.
Look, I gotta go fat suit because they have memes now where they'll do the bat sign, the bat signal in the air. Well, they do a Harden fat suit signal in the air. It's hilarious. Yeah. So, all right, that was fun, guys.
Now that we've given you all the facts on James Harden and Allen Iverson, it's time for you to make your case.
At this point, it's not about our opinion, it's about yours.
We'll see you on your favorite social media platform, ready to check out your takes. Chime in on our Instagram at NBA_NowAndThen_pod, on Twitter at NBA_NowAndThen, and on our YouTube channel, NBA Now and Then. Don't forget that you can follow the NBA stars we featured on today's episode through their social media.
You can follow James Harden on Twitter/X and Instagram at jharden13.
And you can follow Allen Iverson on Twitter or X at Allen Iverson and on Instagram at @theofficialAI3.
All right, guys, that was fun. Until next time, this has been NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons. Peace.
See ya.
Later.
Peace.
Hey, don't forget that. Sorry.
What was that?
I really took that.
Hey.
Hey.
I want to be a rock
fans.
star.
All right,
Hey.
all right.